UFC 276 was the deepest fight card of the year so far for the promotion, and at the end of the night, the two men who walked into the event with UFC title belts also left with them as well. Of course, in the headliner, Israel Adesanya earns a unanimous decision victory over Jared Cannonier. A somewhat uneventful fight. I think both men definitely to blame for that in part. Adesanya did speak some bold words coming in that he was going to make this one spectacular and do something special. Didn't end up unfolding that way, but I'm not going to be too critical of the guy. Of course, winning is the priority here, and Cannonier did not do a whole lot to kind of push him out of that first or second gear and make this a real high-octane fight. So Adesanya doing what he has to do to keep his belt and record his 5th title defense. Fortunately for him, he's able to turn the page very quickly and look at what's next. We all know it is going to be Alex Peja, who earned a spectacular first-round knockout of Sean Strickland on the main card of this event. Just a brutal punch dropped Strickland, and just 3 fights into his UFC career, Peja seemingly going to get that UFC title shot. Of course, we know the history with him and Adesanya from their kickboxing days. He owns 2 victories over him, one by brutal knockout, and there's a great build-in storyline here going into this fight. I think people will quickly forget about this fight with Cannonier, and the excitement will be on full gear for a showdown between these 2 former kickboxing stars turned MMA stars. As far as the co-main event, Alexander Volkanovski looked spectacular in a unanimous decision victory over Max Holloway, making it 3-0 in their rivalry. No questions now that Volkanovski is the better man in the head-to-head between these two. This was a near flawless performance by him, a masterclass. And he has now won 22 fights in a row, 12-0 in the UFC. Just an unbelievable run by Volkanovski, and he is only getting better and more confident with each passing fight. So massive respect to him for what he is doing right now. This is one of the great runs in UFC history, and I'm very curious to see how much further he can push it. Question is, where does he go from here? He has seemingly cleaned out the featherweight division at this point. He's talking about moving up to 155 pounds. I think that is a very real possibility. We just don't know what the timeline is right now. Of course, it seems like Charles Oliveira, Islam Makhachev, probably going to end up fighting for that vacant belt. I would not be upset if Volkanovski got the winner of that fight sometime early next year. He is, of course, dealing with a hand injury that he seemingly suffered in the second round of this fight, so we don't know what his timeline to return is going to be. Will he have another title defense at 145 and then maybe move up to fight the winner of that? Will he maybe just go straight in to a title shot at 155, fighting the winner of that, depending on the timeline? If he does fight at 145, I do think the Josh Emmett one is a compelling matchup. I think the power, the wrestling of Emmett could bring something to the table here. And of course, if Yair Rodriguez does something incredible against Brian Ortega at UFC Long Island on July 16th, he is a very real candidate for the title shot as well. So there's some options going on right now for Volkanovski. I think we have to see some fights unfold, see how his health unfolds, but regardless of what it is, it's either going to be a title defense or maybe that run at champ status. So Volkanovski in a fantastic position right now. He is the true big winner of the night at UFC 276 in my opinion, and big things coming for both Alexander Volkanovski and Israel Adesanya after this event.